Let's look at how we can send our Webflow form submissions to Slack as notifications without using any custom code. Here I've got a very nice template that I bought from the marketplace because it has a lot of forms and it's relevant to this demonstration. What we'll do is I'll quickly show you what we're about to achieve. So we're going to use our form submission and we're going to send a message like this into Slack. So let's quickly go through a form submission. I think this claims has a couple of forms on here, and we'll fill this in just with the same placeholders that are suggested here. Makes it so much easier, just as a demonstration. Okay, this can be a random claim number, and then maybe the same thing, premium, and here we're looking to claim an operation for my pet, as an example. No, we don't made a claim. Okay, and we don't want any marketing emails. Do you want to send this? We're going to get, there we go, we got a notification in Slack. Let's go and see what that looks like. So if I head over to Slack, the form has been submitted by a Webflow Forms notifications, and then here are all the fields, and then that makes it easier. This also works for channels. So it creates a channel, which is the form name, and then it posts into there. When the channel does not exist, it will create one. So let's quickly look at what that, how that might work. So back into Webflow here, I have a, let's see, a health quote. So right now, if I head back into the Slack channel, we can see that we have a callback claim form, general, n8n, a website claim form, but we don't have anything regards to this health quote form. What we'll do is we'll just fill it in, and then it will automatically, this workflow will automatically create this channel and post the form submission into there. Okay, so let's say this is Sally Williams, sally.w. Okay, just all dummy information. Okay, this time's asking for birthday. It doesn't matter, we just, okay. We'll select this, we'll say global health as well. The state is California. Okay, Sally is not a smoker, and she does have underlying health condition. This time we'll consent to marketing emails. So we're gonna send this. And there's a notification from Slack. We'll head over to Slack. Now, in general, we can see that a new channel has been created automatically by this workflow. And if we click on it, it goes to the channel, and then we can see our Sally Williams. Here's all the information from the form we just filled in. This all works using this n8n workflow. Now, you don't need to know how to create this because it's already done for you. In this post, we'll show you exactly how to create an n8n account and then add this workflow that's already pre-created to your workflows. And all you need to do is you need to connect your Webflow account and connect your Slack account. And then from there, this workflow will automatically start posting all of your form submissions from your selected Webflow website into Slack, all automatically. Now let's add our Webflow credential. From here, we'll add a credential. I'm going to search for Webflow, choose Webflow API, click on continue. It's looking for an access token. We'll create one in Webflow. Go to Webflow and go to your site settings. From here, we select apps and integrations. Then under API access, we need to generate a version 1 token. So this is the old way, but it's the only way that works. I'm going to copy this. Then we're going to go back to our n8n instance, and then we're going to add this token here, click on save, and there we go. So I'm going to call this Webflow to them access, just so that I know which credential it is or for which website it is. I save this, and there we go, it's done. Now let's create our Slack credentials. Add a credential and search for Slack. The Slack API is the one we want. From here, click continue. It's asking for an access token. Let's create this. From here, we go to our Slack workspace, then click on tools and settings, then manage apps. From here, on the top right corner, click on build. Then we're going to create a new app. So once this loads, create a new app, choose from scratch. We'll give this a name. I'm going to say Webflow to Slack. Then choose the workspace it needs to belong to, then create app. We'll give this a second. Once it's created it, then we'll be in the basic information for our app. In this case, we need to expand, add features and functionality. And the first thing we need to do is give it permissions. Go to the permissions section. From here, scroll down and you'll find the scopes block. So in here, we need to add some scopes. Click on add an OAuth scope. For this, we'll need to channels manage. This will give it the permission to create channels. Then find chat. It needs chat write, be able to send messages. Also, it needs to be able to write into public channels. These are channels that it's not a member of. Then also, it needs to be able to read groups. So go groups, read. Then also let's see, instant message, read. Then it also needs this one called npim read. Okay, these are the permissions the bot needs. Once you've added the scopes, scroll up and then click on install to workspace. Okay, it's asking for this bot or this app to give permission for our workspace. We'll allow it. Once we've done this, it's going to give us this OAuth token. Okay, so here I'm going to click on copy, make sure that I've got it, and then back in my n8n instance here, I'm going to paste this, and then I'm going to save it, and it's going to run a test. Okay, great, we're connected. I'm going to say this is my Slack Kreonovo and workspace. Okay, you can name it whatever you want. This is just to identify it easier. Okay, now that we have our credentials, let's add or connect them to our workflow. Now we can add our workflow. On the workflow section, add a new workflow. I'm going to rename it so I know which one it is. Send tutem submissions form submissions to Slack. This is just to help me identify. Okay, now attached to our website, on our website, you can head over and find this workflow. You can select into here and copy this, or just click on this button to copy the workflow. Once you've copied the workflow, on the top right corner of n8n, on your blank workflow, expand the option button, then import from URL. Paste the URL and click on import. This will automatically bring in the workflow, and you'll see there's some errors here. This suggests that the credentials are not set. So let's go over through them and set all the credentials. All we need to do is click into this. We need to select the credential here. There we go, like this, and it's going to select the site we gave credentials to. Then in Slack, same thing. We select the dropdown. This is the credentials we just created, and we'll select this. You'll notice that, okay, usually n8n will update all the credentials throughout, but okay, in this case, we'll just double click into this, select this, okay, and this one here. And this one here, double click. You can either double click into them, or you can select the options here to open node, or you can actually hit enter. So, okay, don't worry about any of the other settings. All you need to do is to attach your credentials to each one of these nodes. Now let's activate this workflow and run a test. Click on the activate toggle here. Now it's active and it will listen for form submissions on our Webflow site. If we go back to our Webflow site, we'll just open it in a new tab here. Okay, and then claims. There was a small form here with only 2 fields. Okay, I'm going to use this form. It only has 2 fields. It will be much faster. We'll see if this works. I'm going to submit the form and then check Slack if there's any notification. And it doesn't look like there's a notification that came through. So that means that something might be wrong. It could be the scope. So we'll go back to n8n. I'm going to go to the executions list here. Oh, you can see that it failed. So we'll open this up and see what failed and then see if we can fix this. The error happened here. I'm double clicking into this to check what's wrong. Your Slack credential is missing auth scopes. Okay, it needs channels read as well. So to do that, we're going to head over back to Slack and to our, let's see, apps here. Okay, if we go back to our, so if, your apps here, if you go to basic information, then you'll see this add features and functionality. If we expand this, then go to permissions. From here, you're going to navigate down to the scopes section. Okay, and it requires channels read as well. So we're going to add a OAuth scope of channels read. Okay, that's it. Then we need to reinstall this. Click on reinstall here. It's going to ask us again if we allow this. Yes, we do. Okay, now we should be good to go. What we'll do, we'll go back to our Webflow form. I'm just going to refresh this page to get the form back, and then I'm going to pop in some random information. Okay, and I'm going to test it again. And now I'm going to check Slack. I can hear there's a notification that just came through. So if I open Slack, there we go. So Webflow to Slack, this is the bot that we just created, and it posted into here. Let's see if it still works when we, okay. We're going to try to post a random form here. We're going to choose car quote this time. Okay, and I'm just going to fill in this information. John Doe @gmail.com. Just some random information. Doesn't matter too much. We're just testing now. Toyota. What kind of Camry, I guess, and let's say it's a fairly new one. Then it's usually parked outside. Nice, okay, consent, okay. So we're gonna post this. Then we're gonna check Slack again. Sorry, here we go. Check Slack. Nope. Slack. Okay, so no message came through. So this could be scope again. So we'll quickly go over and identify what scope issue we have now this time. So let's close this. This is the latest one. The error is here. Okay, so let's open this. Restricted action. For general, the bot needs to be added as an app to this channel. To do this, let's open it as an app. I think we can select this drop down and we can add this app to a channel. From here, we'll select add to general. Then if we check general, I think there's another way if you go integration. So we can see that the app is here. It gives it permission to post into this channel. Since it didn't create it, it didn't have any permission. Now we can test this again. We're going to go to our Webflow side. I'm going to just fill in the form again, but I'll skip ahead so you don't have to see the fill in again. Right, so I've submitted the form and I got a notification in Slack. If I head over to Slack again, then we can see that this bot now posted, a new channel was added, car quote form, and then we can go in here and this is the form I just submitted now, and everything is up and running and working again. There we go. That's how we can use this n8n workflow to better manage our Webflow form submissions for any Webflow site, really. In this final part, I will talk about the workflow itself, how it works for those who are interested. I'll explain each node in detail and just break down how it all works. We'll start with the Webflow form submission trigger. We'll open this up, and what this does is it listens for a Webflow form submission. We can test this. We'll click on here, listen event, and then we'll have to head over to a Webflow form again. We'll use that short form that's down here. I'm just going to fill it with some random information real quick. Okay, and I'm going to submit this. Then if I go back to my workflow here, now we can see that the event came in, and this is the information or the data that it's received from Webflow. This is what it sends forward to the next node. I'm going to click on this to pin this to the node so we can keep reusing this same information. So I'll go back. From here, it's going to send it into this node. What this node does is it's going to go into this workspace and it's going to find all the channels. So I'm going to execute this. Here we can see that we received all the channels in our workflow, in our workspace for Slack. So these are all the channels, and then it's going to pass this along to the next node. I'm going to save this again. Okay, it found 8 channels, and in here, there's just a bit of code, and what it does, it goes over all of the channels it received. So this is here we go, this is the data it received. It goes over all of the channels, and it looks for the name, and then it matches this name with the Webflow form name. So the Webflow form name, if we go back to, actually, sorry, I'll open this again. If we change this to, here we go. So it takes this form name here, it converts it into a lowercase string, and it joins everything with a minus, and then it tries to look for a matching name inside one of the channels. And then what it does, it will, when it finds one or doesn't find one, it will pass this along to the next node. So let's execute this, and we'll see that it found one. So what it sends forward is a couple of things: the actual information about the channel in Slack, the name, its ID, which is important, and then that test whether it existed or not. This is the form name after it's been converted to a lowercase string, and then also the form data is the inputs. This is the name of the input, and then this is the value, what we filled in. Now this will pass it along to the next node. I'm going to pin this as well. This is a switch block. So from here, it's going to split the Webflow into 2 parts. If we open this, it simply tests if the channel exists. In our previous test, in here in the code, you don't have to understand this, is it tests if the channel does not exist, it won't send anything through. It will just set this to false and set nothing, to blank. Then from here, we just test if this channel exists or not. So if it does, it's going to go, change the workflow, like true follows this flow and false follows this flow here. So in this case, we know that it's true, it exists. It just tests it. If we run this, it's going to go to the next node. So it passes the exact same information through. It just changes, so you can see here the output, it goes to the true branch and not the false branch. Nothing happens here, but something happens here. Okay, from here, it moves over to compose a Slack message. Okay, I'll open this, and what this does, it creates a message using the Slack. Slack has this API for blocks, and it allows us to neatly write. So sorry, if I just quickly open Slack here again, where is my Slack window? Okay, sorry. So what this does is it instead of just throwing all of the form data as a single one-line string, we will create a new string for, a new line for each input. So we're gonna label the input with as bold here, and then put the value next to it, and then we're gonna create a new line for each one of the inputs from our form. Okay, so I'll go back. That's what this code does. It just creates that, and then it sends forward the previous information, the data from here, and it appends or adds this new block, this message block. So I'm gonna execute this. It just prepares it. Okay, and then from here, yeah, it doesn't move forward. Right. Okay, from here, just it's a little error. Okay, from here we basically send a message to a channel. And how it does that? Maybe we need to just click here, execute. Okay, here we go. So sorry. Yeah, what this does is it will take this information that we created or data that we shaped before, and it's going to add the things to the relevant parts. It sends a message. So the operation is it will send a message to a channel. You can also choose user, but then you can need to create a new workflow for that, or modify a lot of things to make that work. We're going to use select the channel by an ID because we want it to be dynamic, and we got this channel ID from this node back here. When it got all the channels, it passed this ID all the way through, and then from here we just add this ID. So we select the channel, and then this message that we created composed here, it gets passed forward. So like this, it gets passed forward, and then that is selected and added as a block in Slack. If you want, you can. I think let's quickly check. I think there was a link. Okay, I can't seem to trigger the link now. There's a link to just Slack documentation, how to create these blocks. Oh, it might be here. Here we go. Okay, we'll open this. It's basically just a block builder, and it gives you an idea, or if you want to adapt or shape your message, so you can use this to create create the blocks you want, anything you want from in Slack, and then you can just copy this. And then once you copy this, you add it into this block section here, and then that's how you can shape the message to whatever you want it to appear like in Slack. Okay, that's the one flow. When it's false, when there is no channel, so we're going to follow this one. What's going to happen is it's going to create a brand new channel. So using the name of the form that was created here, so that means if we just open this, this form name. So it takes the form name from Webflow, and then it changes to lowercase, and then removes all the spaces, replaces them with dashes, and it will use that name to create a Slack channel, and it's a public channel. Once it creates it, then it does two things. The first part is it will send a notification in the general channel. So it goes to here, and this time we select from a list. We choose the general channel here. You can choose any channel you want, and then again it uses just this block. If we open this block API from Slack to just compose a message to say a new channel was created automatically, and then here we insert the name. I tag it as well so that we have a link to it. If I go to Slack, we can see that in the general channel, the result of that. So this is the result of that. A new channel was created, quote form. So if I click on this, then it takes us to that channel here. So again, you can see that it's exactly the same information. If I just go back to my n8n workflow here, this here, a new channel was created, and then it posts this into that general channel. And the second thing it does is it now takes, when it created a new channel, it actually creates a lot of information about that channel, but we selectively create the information that we need to pass it along to compose the message. And the things we need is just the channel information, the form name, and the form data. That's all passed along back into this. So when it's false, there is no channel, it's just going to deviate, create one. Once it creates it, it sends a notification in the general channel, and then also it will shape the data so that it's ready to compose the message to eventually send it to the channel. That's how the workflow works, breakdown of it, and you can modify and change it as you